Teaching students critical thinking skills using ChatGPT. PROF504 group project presented to you by Brianna Donaldson, Hilary Legault, Hannah Brozer, and Barb Brown. This presentation will cover the use of ChatGPT from an English teacher lens to hopefully shift the conversation regarding AI tools in the classroom from its largely negative reception to how it can be a useful and positive resource for students. Our problem and initial discussion question was, how can we help students to think critically about narrative texts? In general, we wanted to find a technology that could aid students in their pursuit of strengthening their critical thinking skills while reading and discussing literature. Helping students understand how to think critically about a novel, a chapter, or a character is not an easy task. It's a challenge we see every day in classrooms. Students are often provided questions from their teacher to assess how well they've read and comprehended the assigned text. However, this doesn't teach students how to formulate their own questions or just how many extension questions there are out there. The questions provided are often very limited to what the teacher knows about the text and what themes they want students to take from it. What if we were able to get students to think critically about a text by challenging them to create a set of specific questions to help them formulate further questions about the text? What applications exist that could help them generate these questions? As a group, we began exploring the possibility of using AI as a method of helping our students to generate critical questions. Our goal is to teach students how to use AI effectively during their reading so it can aid them in thinking critically and provide them with the tools they need to explore further ideas. How can we teach them how to use AI effectively, and what programs will we be teaching? What is ChatGPT? ChatGPT is an application that uses AI to generate a response when given a prompt. Due to the vastness of the internet, the available responses are endless, and thus, a level of responsibility and comprehension of the application is needed to be taught to students who utilize it. ChatGPT is a free app that students can use on the web by going to chatgpt.com or by using the app. They don't need to create a login. Once on the site, the interface is simple and easy to use. Just ask ChatGPT a question.
So in this example, ChatGPT is given a prompt. What is ChatGPT? And it answers with some good information. Another prompt is given. What is Harry Potter? ChatGPT gives a thorough response listing all the books in the Harry Potter series.
How can ChatGPT help students with critical thinking? If the responses that ChatGPT generates are seemingly endless, what would happen if we taught students to ask ChatGPT to generate critical thinking questions about a specific text? What would that look like? Using Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone as an example, we asked ChatGPT a series of questions that can help generate further critical inquiries for students. These questions are building blocks that can help students formulate their own thoughts and ideas about the text. Our goal is not to have them use ChatGPT to formulate answers for them, but for them to use it as a tool to help them further their own thinking about the novel. ChatGPT can form critical questions that they can answer themselves and will hopefully help them with their overall comprehension and ability to create further questions. As you can see here in this example, ChatGPT formed an enormous amount of questions that a student can use for their personal notes. How can we sort through this information? Each question presented to us on the previous slide delves deep into several aspects of Chapter 1 of the Philosopher's Stone and helps students begin to formulate critical thoughts about the novel in a way that they perhaps had not previously thought about it while reading. Students can think beyond the basic questions such as, who are the characters, or what's happening in this chapter, and look at examples of what would be considered a critical thinking question. However, if the goal is to have students learn to think critically, do we want them to just answer the questions? How do we teach students to process and filter the information presented to them in ChatGPT? Instead of having students answer the question that ChatGPT has generated, having students discuss how these questions challenge them to think differently about the chapter will also cause them to think critically. Allowing students to see what potential questions are possible will allow them to expand their perspective and understanding as they continue to analyze readings in the future. Students also need to learn how to ask ChatGPT the right questions with the specifications to generate the information they need. This causes students to brainstorm and think outside of the box, prompting thorough subject critical thinking. Positive and negatives of ChatGPT. While ChatGPT can be a helpful tool, it also needs to be used responsibly. Due to the endless positive possibilities with using AI, it's very easy for students to misuse it, letting it do their work for them rather than doing the work themselves. This is one of the main reasons why it's important to teach students how to use ChatGPT properly in schools. Accessibility can also be an issue, as not all students have access to a computer or mobile device. Access to computers at school would be necessary for the use of AI in this way. While ChatGPT can have many applications with endless responses, AI is still limited and should only be used as an assistive tool rather than a replacement for doing the work. Information generated by AI should always be verified for accuracy. We believe AI and ChatGPT can be used effectively in our classrooms. It is a useful tool when taught to use correctly, and we see the potential moving forward as using AI to further critical thinking in our students. We don't believe that AI should replace students' original thoughts, work, and ideas, but we think that it is a perfect initial starting place. Critical thinking is so essential to their learning experience, and we think ChatGPT is an excellent tool for students. Thank you so much for listening and following along with us. Good luck in your own AI journeys moving forward.